Good morning. It is Rebecca from Rebecca Inc. Today we are going to draw this horse using simple shapes. What you need is a pencil, a marker, an eraser or the back of your pencil eraser, and a piece of paper. So I am going to move my guide and we'll get started. You are going to start with your pencil. I'm going to use a marker so you can see me a little bit better, and we'll just follow along. Now this one today, I have a little cheater underneath here so I can make sure to get the dimensions right so while I'm explaining it to you. So I've got a little cheater here. Hopefully that helps me give you a better guide. We're going to start with our horse's jaw, which is going to be right just about smack dab in the center of your paper here, just a little bit below the center. You're going to have your paper horizontal today. And we are going to draw an oval right here. I'm going to get my arm going from my shoulder, and when I get the shape I want, I'm going to set my pencil down. My oval is tilted slightly back. Going to be about that big. If you see, I've got my lines, some are going in, some are going out. It's not a perfect shape. Yours will not be perfect either, and I don't want you to expect it to be. At this point, we are roughing in our shapes, and we're being very forgiving with ourselves. We're not erasing anything. We're just letting it happen. So take a deep breath and let it happen. All right, from here, let's add on a rectangle that's going to live right here. So this oval we drew will be our horse's nice strong jaw. Now we're going to work our way down to our horse's mouth. We are going to draw in a rectangle right here, just like that. To get that shape, I again am getting my whole arm going from my shoulder, and I'm going around and around and around. My lines are not perfectly straight, just as long as you get the idea, that's what we're going for here. Where that oval and that rectangle meet up, let's add in a little diagonal line to give us a triangular shape, right like that. That's going to give us some shading when we go to switch over to our marker. From this rectangle, we're just going to draw a straight line, nice and light, all the way up. I'm touching my pen, you touch your pencil, to your paper, nice and light. I'm going to just drag it up the page. I'm kind of pushing it up from my shoulder. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, just it's going to serve as a guide so we know where our back eye is going to live. Above this oval, let's work on our eye now. We're going to put a circle. It's going to line up just about with the edge of that oval. We're going to put a circle that's going to be about this big. Just like that. Get your whole arm going. Go around and around and around you go. And you'll get a nice circle. Inside that circle, let's do a few more. We're going to do one just about in the middle there. This one is a little bit smaller motor movement, so I'm kind of planting my arm at my elbow and moving my forearm and my wrist to get that shape. Inside that one, you guessed it, another circle. Going to tuck it up the corner of that. Inside that, yet another one. Tuck it up in the corner of that. And guess what? We're going to do one more today. This little one, I'm going to live right in the middle there. So we'll end up with the white part of our eye, a darker part with a highlight and another highlight. We're getting very fancy. From the top of our eye circle there, we're going to draw a line, a diagonal line that comes down. It's going to be pretty straight. And then just like we've done on lots of other animals, we're going to plant our wrist, and with the natural motion that our hand's going to go in, we're going to draw an arc off the back of that. That's going to be our horse's eyelid. From there, go up just a smidge and over. And where we put that guideline, that's going to be the edge of our other eye. So just up a tiny bit, we're going to draw another circle. That's right about here. Just like that. It's okay if it goes outside that guide, but we just needed that guide to help us know where does that eye live. lives right about there. Now this eye is tucked on the other side of our horse's head, so we're not really going to see the eye, but we will see the eyelashes. So we are going to add in a little box right here. That's going to help us know where those eyelashes are going to live. So it's just a slight angle and then draw some lines back. You don't have to draw this last line, but just to give you an idea of where I'm getting that box shape, that's where it is. Above this, let's draw the top of our horse's head with an oval. Now that oval is going to be fairly large. It's going to live all the way over our eyes and up just a bit. So drawing a nice oval about like that. Very good. Give me a thumbs up if you're following me, okay? And that can be our code. On the back of that oval, we're going to add in some more ovals for the ears. So this back ear, we're going to draw an oval about that big with a little circle on top. And then at the base of it, where it connects, we're going to add in some connecting triangles, just like that. Same thing, just down a little bit. So just down on that oval right about here. Let's add in another ear. We're going to do an oval there. And then just below that, off to the back, draw another oval. This will give us a really cool little detail on our horse here. And then on the top of this first one, add in another circle. And let's do a couple tiny little connecting triangles there. All right, moving on, let's get in our nose and our mouth. Okay, so where we had this rectangular shape at the base of our horse's face, we're going to add in a little oval right here. This oval is going to serve as a guide for our mouth as it carries back onto the face. In front of that, let's add in a slightly larger oval. These are all kind of following that same diagonal down. So it's just one oval and then another oval. And then above that, we're going to add in a circle. Now this circle is a little bit larger. It's going to fill up the top part of this oval and almost come all the way over to our guideline there and out. So you can watch me and then add it in yourself. Just like that. I'm using my whole arm from my shoulder. Round and round I go. So we did a little oval, another little oval, and then a little bit bigger circle. Inside that circle, we need some nostrils. Our horse has a nice big nose so he can breathe. So we're going to have an oval that lives right about here. And because you're so good, we're going to add in another oval here so you can get a good little detail. You guys are getting so good at all the details, so I'm going to start adding in some more. Now, on the exterior of that circle, the outside of that circle, we're going to do the same thing for the other side. Add in that top part and that bottom part. And we won't see those, but they'll give us some nice little details when we trace over this with our marker. Okay, now we need to connect our circles, nose circle up to our eye circle. So we're going to draw a nice little diagonal line right like that to connect those two. Actually, you know that box that you drew? If you draw just straight down from that, that will give you that face shape there. Now let's connect to the other side. So from where you drew that diagonal line down and it touched that nose circle, from that point, let's draw another diagonal line that touches the base of this eye circle. Nice and light, just like that. So good, you guys. Okay, we are ready for the neck of our horse. From our jawline, we are going to go, if we follow that along, we're going to go almost like a finger width over and draw a diagonal line that comes down from that jaw. Just touch your pencil down and drag it off your page. Now where that jaw and diagonal line would create a triangle there, we're going to create a triangle right there. This will help us get a nice little shade. We'll shade that in to give our horse some dimension. If we continue up, see right here is where, when we draw over it, is where we're going to start. So if we continue up to that point and we come down just off of that oval, we're going to just draw in a nice little diagonal line that has like a little curve at the end. So start your diagonal, dragging your arm down, and then just flick your pencil. That's going to be, they have a really strong muscle in their neck. That's going to give us a hint of where that is. Now, up here on the head, where we have all these crazy ovals that will eventually make an ear, believe it or not, we're going to touch our pencil down here, and we are going to drag it off in a diagonal way off the back of our paper. And when I get close to that edge, I'm going to give it a little flick up. That's going to be like the start of our horse's back. Now, we are going to practice some shapes with our pencil so that we can get the mane of the horse. Now, you have a couple options here. I'm going to show you one, and then the next one down I'll show you a different one and a different one, and you can decide which one you want to use for the back of your horse here. Okay, you can do, for the mane, if we do a angled oval, just like that, and then another one right underneath it, just like that, get your whole arm going. You could follow this down to make your mane. So I would go around the top part of that and then curve into the inside of that to get that shape. I'm going to go over that one more time so you can see it. So if you wanted to stack some ovals all the way down, you could do that. That would give you a really nice shape to trace over. So 2 ovals stacked, and you trace around the back of one and then the front of the other and flick. That's one way. Another way would be almost like a very skinny backward S. So from that one, we'd touch up at the top, curve around, and back in. I'll show you that one again. Curve around and back in. So you decide, what are you more comfortable with? Would you like it to be more structured so you have something to trace? Or do you trust yourself to just give a nice little arc and curve back in? If you pick this method, pause me, fill in all your ovals going down, and then push play, and we'll catch up with each other, okay? Let's do the top of the head. Now the top of the head for the mane, I'm going to follow along the top edge of this oval, come down and flick. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that in now with my pencil and flick, just so you get an idea of where these lines are going to live. Just down a little bit from that, I'm going to just mimic that same thing, down and flick. And then from the base of that, down and flick. Okay, believe it or not, we are ready to switch over to our marker. So grab your marker and let's get started. If you have a gel pen or just any kind of pen, just something that you can't erase, that's what we need right now. We're going to start in a different spot today because our hair is a kind of more organic shape. We're not going to start where I normally start, up by the ear. Let's start at this back eye here. Where we had that rectangular shape, we're going to go from the top of that rectangle down to where it meets up with this diagonal line, and we're just going to give a little flick right there. So we're going to go down and flick. That is going to be our horse's eyelashes on the other side. Now we're going to add in maybe one more of those right there. Then we're going to follow that diagonal line and then hop onto this one. Down that diagonal line and get to the nose and stop. From here, some of these shapes, we're just going to draw the edges of them, so you won't really see all these circles, but because you've drawn them, you'll get the right angles on your nose. So we're going to hop on this circle and go around the circle where we get to this top part of the nostril. we're going to just go around that nostril and around that nostril, just like that. Nothing else is going to happen there. Then we're going to hop onto this bottom part of that circle. We're going to go around there and hop onto this oval to give us the nice shape of our horse's mouth. So you're going to draw along there and then hop onto that oval. At the end you can give it a little mark, just like that. You're doing so good. I bet these are going to be cool. Okay, now let's draw our horse's chin. We're going to just draw around the base of this oval and connect it right there. Down around that oval, connect it back up. Then we're going to go up to where we meet up with the jaw. Very good. Let's go back onto the nose and add in our nostril. Now we're only going to see this one, so we're going to fill in. We're going to draw around those ovals. You're picking your favorite lines. We're going to fill it in, just like that. If you wanted to add another little detail, you could add a little mimicking line there, or a little mimicking line down there to give that little accent to their nostrils. All right, let's go for this jaw. This is my favorite part. We're going to go almost up to the top of that oval, and we are going to trace over this line that we drew right here. We're going to start there and go around, just like that. You're doing so good. From here, let's draw in our horse's neck. We're going to follow that diagonal line that we drew straight down. And now let's go in and do that inside eye. We're going to go around our circles, just do the base of them. I'm going to do that one first, then kind of just going in so you can see it. Mine got kind of crazy looking there. So now I know. Now I can start to see what I was up to. So this is all going to stay white, and that last little bit, I'll trace around that, is the part that we fill in. So it's going to give our horse, he's going to have two highlights in his eyes today. He's going to have like a crescent shape and then that oval there, or circle. Mine turned out more oval, maybe yours turned out more circular. Either way, it's going to give him a nice little highlight. Now we're going to add in that straight line that we had at the front. And then plant your wrist and go over that arc shape that you had drawn. You just drew a really intricate eye. I'm very proud of you. If you would like to add in a couple hints of eyelashes. Now, a lot of people would have their eyelashes pointed back this way. We're going to point them forward. So you're going to touch your marker to this arced line and flick it forward. Because in actuality, their eyelashes are going to come over their eye. And then at the back, you can give a couple little hints that way. If you want to have it come forward like that, so you can see it. So you're just touching and flicking. But that direction is what's going to give you the dimension that you want. Adding in a few little details here so that we can get dimension again. We're going to go around that eye circle that we drew. We're just going to go just a hint of a line there and a hint of a line back here. And same thing down around the front, just like that. Gives it some more dimension again. We're going to add in a hint of this triangular line right here, just at the top. Set your marker down and just kind of flick it down that line that you drew. Same thing, this line here, they've got lots of really strong muscles in their face, so we're going to set our marker down here and just lightly touch it and flick just a little hint down that line. Okay, moving on to our neck. Where we drew that triangular shape right there, we are just going to shade in. I'm just going at a diagonal. I'm just going to kind of loosely shade in that area there. If you went a little past your guide, past your neckline, that's okay. Just extend it over. And then for this line that we drew here for the muscle, we're going to trace right over that guy. Where we had the tiny little triangle here, we're going to shade that in as well. nice and loose. Okay, now we are on to our organic shapes. Let's draw in this ear first. We are going to start around the base of that oval. We're going to go up onto that circle, back down, and onto that front oval, just like that. That's going to be the inside of our ear. Now to give the back of the ear, we're going to go back up to the top and come down the other side of that oval, just like that. And on this ear, we're going to go from where we've got the mane, we're just going to trace up those connecting triangles onto the oval and stop. Now we are on to those organic shapes. So if you drew the ovals all the way down, you're going to follow those around the back of that one, onto the front of that one. When you get to the bottom, lift your marker, give it some nice loose motions there. Your mane does not all have to be that same length. I'm just kind of doing my arcs now. Mine are going to overlap a little bit as I go down my horse's neck. Just like that. You decide, how does yours want to look? Do you want to have one that comes in front of that one, goes onto its face? You could do that. Now onto the head. We're going to go from one ear over in front of that ear and flick. Next one down and flick. And the last one and flick. You just drew a super cool horse. I'm going to add in this last little line here for my back. Oop, drew on my desk. And we are all set for our eraser. You guys, you did so good. Give me a thumbs up or a heart if you enjoyed drawing that horse. I'm going to switch over to my guide because I drew this one with pencil. Let me take out my back ones there. I'm going to hold my paper down, grab my eraser, and just start erasing all my ovals and triangles and rectangles. We had lots of shapes in this guy today. And we are going to be left with a really cool horse. I hope you had fun drawing this guy. This one was for Kaylee. These are her favorite. Miss Kaylee, I hope you are having fun drawing a horse with me today. Now with artwork, I like to remind people, yours does not have to look exactly like mine. It does not need to be perfect. Art is not perfect. All those little lines that you drew that you're like, ugh, it's not what I meant to do, those are going to be the lines that make your drawing distinctly yours. And they are going to be the lines that in the long run give your drawing the most character. So let those happy accidents happen. In the long run, you're really going to like them, I promise. When I'm doing a big drawing, at some point or another, I'm like, oh, I hate it. But in the end, I'm like, oh, came out kind of cool. So allow yourself to hate it and then love it. And be forgiving with yourself, okay? If you're looking for some more things to do, you can find me on Instagram at Rebecca Inkabink. You can find me online at RebeccaInk.com. On the Interact tab, I'm posting all of the pictures you guys send me. Keep them coming. I'm really loving to see what you draw. So send me your drawings. You'll find them there. You can also find some downloadable coloring pages. I've just recently started taking our drawings that we do and creating coloring pages for you to do. So if you would like something else to do, you can do that. And tune in tomorrow. I will have something special for you to do. And stay home and stay safe and stay positive. I'll see you soon. Bye.